New rule, this driver in China has to stop honking his horn. You think your progress has been halted by a bunch of sheep? You should see what's happening here. And finally, new rule, now that we know that the least godly man in the world is immensely popular with evangelicals, we need no more evidence that religion is antiquated and dangerous. This October 3rd, I can't believe it, is the 10th anniversary of when my movie Religulous opened in theaters in 2008. That is, the theaters that would show it. Many would not. We've come a long way. Back then, only 16% of Americans identified as non-religious. Now it's 26%. You're welcome. Yes, the fastest growing religion in America is no religion at all. Atheism is booming. Praise Jesus. Now, I learned making Religulous that every time you blame religion for so much of the world's misery, religious people say, but Bill, the godless cultures like Hitler's Germany and Stalin's Russia and Mao's China were the worst, and they had no religion. But here's the thing about Nazism, Maoism, and Stalinism. Those were religions, state religions. These dictators didn't get rid of God because they hated religion. They get rid of God because they hated competition.
Yep. That's a good point.
Same with North Korea today. They claim to be godless communists, but their calendar begins on the day the country's founder, Kim Il-sung, came to Earth from heaven. And his son, the next ruler, Kim Jong-il, is believed by North Koreans to have started walking at 3 weeks old and talking at 8 weeks. His first time golfing, he shot a 38 under par with 11 holes in one. He wrote 1,500 books in 3 years, narrowly beating out Stephen King. When he was born, winter turned to spring. He can make it rain based on his mood. He invented the hamburger. I'm not making that up. They're making that up. He invented the hamburger. Talk about a whopper. Oh, and my favorite, Kim Jong-il never used a toilet because his body was so well calibrated, he did not need to defecate. No shit. Okay, this is not an atheist nation. I've heard of people claim their shit don't stink, but only a God will say they don't shit at all. Which brings us to Trump supporters. The reason Trump has an easy sell with evangelicals is because they're hardwired to put faith over reason. Plus, Trump is the spitting image of the religious con men they grew up with on TV. He's got Jim Bakker's hair and Tammy Faye's makeup. He's immune to sex scandals. He had a sham university. He doesn't pay taxes. He personifies that prosperity gospel bullshit they all spin. Yes, the more money I have, the happier you are. That's Trump. The private planes, the traveling salvation show, the home that looks like the Sistine Chapel, including a crying statue, Melania. And it's very possible Trump doesn't... It's possible Trump doesn't just remind his flock of their favorite preacher. There is a character in the Bible who is exactly like Trump. God. No, not that one. Yes, that one. The Old Testament God. Trump loves an eye for an eye. Guess who invented that? Old Testament God was all wrath and ego, a petty, vindictive rageaholic who loved Israel, but obsessed with loyalty, not morality. Look at the Ten Commandments. It's very Trumpian. The first four are all about him. Commandment 1, thou shalt have no other gods. Other gods are fake news. I am the greatest God in history with the best brain. Commandment 2, only make statues of me. I am the only bronze-colored thing you should bow to. And don't make the hands small, because they're not. And neither is something else, I guarantee. Commandment 3, when you say bad things about me, it's very unfair. Very unfair. No other God has accomplished what I did in 6 days, that I will tell you. Commandment 4, you must spend 1 day a week not doing anything but talking about how great I am. Let me help you out. God deserves an A+. So here we have the 10 Commandments, the 10 worst things you could possibly do, and left off the list are torture, rape, child abuse, incest, and slavery. But 4 spots on the list go to variations of stroke my ego and kiss my ass. There's only 2 people I can think of who would do that, God and Donald Trump. All right, that's